UK's infamous preacher Anjem Choudary charged with leading a terror group. Anjem Choudary, the controversial British-Pakistani Islamist preacher known for his radical ideologies, has been arrested yet again, this time on charges of leading a terrorist organization. This incident marks another brush with the law for the 56-year-old Choudary, who's been previously convicted of terrorism charges in 2016. His disturbing legacy of radicalization underscores the country's ongoing struggle with homegrown extremism, while his connections with Canadian national Khaled Hussein highlight the transnational nature of the extremist threat. So this other guy from Canada is one of his co-defendants. They're both got charged and arrested. Their alleged collaboration online to promote radical views underscores the global challenge of online radicalization. The upcoming trial of Choudary and Hussein, both charged with serious violations of the UK's Terrorism Act, will likely reignite debates around freedom of speech and the legal complexities of combating extremism. As authorities strive to balance prosecution of extremist ideologies with upholding rights to free expression, Chowdhury's latest arrest adds another potent chapter to the narrative of extremism in the UK. So, this is some wild stuff. So, Armin, would are you familiar with
Mhm.
Amjad Chowdhury?
I just I just know he's just a radical that like was pro very radical groups basically making excuses for them and defending them in the UK. So what is he being charged with exactly? Like
I
what
believe
is he
I
doing?
don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I can go double check. I believe he's facing 6 different counts under the UK's Terrorism Act. Oh, excuse me, 3 counts. He was charged with 3 counts under the Terrorism Act: directing a terrorist organization, membership in a banned organization, and addressing meetings to encourage support for the organization. Those are the 3 charges. Um, and
Mm.
these relate to the radical Muslim group, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Al-Muhajirun Al-Muhajirun, which is outlawed by the British government in 2010. And so the thing is that the prosecutors say that, okay, this group was banned in 2010, but then they just change the name or make, you know, shadow organizations. They make front organizations and basically continue their same activities. So one of these organizations that was basically a front was called the Islamic Thinkers Society. And according to the prosecutors, Chowdhury gave lectures for the Islamic Thinkers Society on the establishment of a the Islamic State in Britain and how to radicalize people. Um,
Yeah, this guy
and
is very famous for people who don't know. This guy is like a big deal. Big
oh,
big
he's
big deal.
huge. He's infamous in the UK. I mean, particularly in, I think, like the past 10 to 50, you haven't heard as much from him in the past 5 years, I would say. But in like the 2010s, I mean, this guy was like everywhere. He was infamous in like the face of homegrown extremism, the face of
Right.
homegrown extremism, and would go to great lengths to explicitly promote extremism within the UK. And um, I was doing some research into his background because kind of the height of his activity was kind of like before my time, so to speak. Like it was when I was still a child, so this was not on my radar, right? Like I recognized his face, I recognized his name, and I knew that he had this like crazy reputation, right? So I was looking into the details, and holy crap, there are some reports that suggest that him and his groups are, as of 2015, responsible for 25% of domestic terrorist acts in the UK.
Wow.
That's
How is he?
crazy. This is a
Yeah.
super dangerous man.
But you get arrested for tweets in the UK, though. So, but this guy has been taking this long to go to.
I
So
mean, this would
hey,
be his second time facing the law, right? He
I know.
Last time he was arrested and sent to jail, he served less than half of his sentence.
Wow.
And his sentence on its own, I can't remember the exact number. It was like less than 10 years. Like, I don't know, when I hear stuff like this, again, I'm like, "Susanna, like, you're an American, and in America, I mean, we will throw the book at you, and often we will throw the book at you and put you under the jail for often, like, the wrong things, let's be completely honest, and the people that they do the worst crimes, they often get off easy, so I'm under no delusions about that, right? But in America, yeah, Darko's like, "Lock him up and throw away the key." Like, this is the mentality that we have where I'm like, "What do you mean he got his sentence was only, like, 6 years and he got off only serving half the time with terrorism charges? Like, what is happening here? Is this even like, is this even serious to you guys? What the fuck?" Like, I get so confused. But
we
again, I'm
let
like,
we let,
"Okay, I think my red, white, and blue is jumping out. I think my USA is jumping out because I'm like, why is he not under the jail?"
we let the terrorists go after 3 years for good behavior.
Yeah, like,
Like-
"Excuse me?" Meanwhile, in America, there are, like, people in our system where it's like, "Yeah, I just got here on accident, and I've been in Guantanamo Bay for, like, 15, 20 years, and I'm not even a
yeah, we're
terrorist."
not. By the way,
So
we're not endorsing that,
no,
obviously,
of
but
course
it's just
not.
maybe
But
maybe a middle, something in between would be
yeah.
a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
would I
right.
would like
So
I would like something in between. But Armin, were you familiar with this guy's legacy at all?
yeah, I mean, I don't. I knew. Yeah, I know this guy is a big deal and supporting of terrorist groups. I don't know about the details, but this guy has been all over the place for many
When I
many
was looking
years. So
into
yeah.
the details about the level of stuff he's been involved in and how pervasive he's been involved with it, I mean, there are allegations that they were literally doing armed trainings for people to then go fight in this IS while
Yeah, yeah.
still inside of the UK.
Mm, amazing.
Like, it's
They couldn't wait
wild.
for training. They couldn't wait to get to Syria for training. They were let's start here. Bit bizarre. Okay. By the way, we're gonna have more stuff like this in the future, unfortunately. So
What makes you
prepare
say
for that.
that?
Um, they're just okay. So I don't want to do the fear mongering Sharia is going to take over the Europe kind of, that's too much. Like the sky is going to fall. Europe is going to be Islamic one day. That is nonsense. That's not going to happen. But it is growing. It's going to be more in the future, more of this stuff in the future, but not to the point that it's going to be a Sharia takeover. That is an exaggeration. It's not going to be the society is not going to fall apart, but there will be more stuff like this. There will be more radicalism. There will be more um, Muslim viewpoints making its a traditionally conservative Islamic view and even radical Islamic views is going to spread more in Europe. There's going to be more of that. And it's going to clash and it's going to make things difficult. It's going to make democracy difficult. It's going to destabilize things. Not to the, again, I'm not saying, I don't want to fearmonger to the point that some right leaning people do to say like the whole thing is going to fall apart. No, but it is going to be a bigger challenge, I think, going forward.
Mm,
Do you understand what I'm
mm.
saying? Yeah.
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 I think it's
Yeah.
important that immigrants don't become ghettoized. I think that's like the one of the main things we can do to combat that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have three super chats. Gaging American saying, not Hong Kong, they have corporations in their legislature. Okay, I'm saying compared to China, Hong Kong is more democratic, has had been so more democratic and therefore more advanced. This is not a black and white thing, it's a spectrum, but I see your point. Um, okay, Susie, okay. And
Sorry, I was
then
doing
we
something.
have so crazy flung is saying my name is pronounced crazy. I am bi male. I get what you mean, Susanna. So I think crazy is like watching the beginning part of the stream. He hasn't caught up to where we are yet now. But yeah, crazy, when you're gonna see this a lot later than when we said it. So hi crazy when you get to this part. And then that oxymoron is saying you misunderstand. All those countries industrialize and achieve economic growth before they were democracy. Democracy was symptom. Why push symptom? No, that you no, you misunderstand. Okay, industrialization and economic advancements and the democracy is a circular thing. One advances the other one, so they both. So if you look at studies, more democratic values advances economic prosperity and industrialization, and vice versa. This is not a one directional effect. So I know what I'm talking about here. So I've seen the studies. All right,
Also,
so
like, oxymoron, no offense, but, like, you are not good at communicating what you mean. Like,
yes.
I have listened to you actually speak, not just type super chats before, and I was left with the impression that you are just not very good at communicating your thoughts in a way where the other person understands what you're saying. But the good news is that this is something that can be improved. This is something that can be improved. Okay? But,
Right.
like,
Yes.
I've literally listened to you speak, and you just need to communicate yourself with a lot more clarity and specificity. um I get it. Meanwhile, Eric Olson has gone off the deep end and says that we should implement full Sharia law for Muslims in the West, including amputations of limbs, capital punishments, etc. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, Eric. Why would we do this? Why would I don't want that in my country. I don't want this in my culture. It's medieval and it's barbaric. Why would I implement that in my own society? That makes no sense. And also, what about the people who have the just random misfortune of fate to be born into a Muslim family? And so what they're just by because they're just born into this family, they have no choice in the matter. You're now going to implement these laws over their lives. What about the people that want to leave that? What about the ex-Muslims? You do know that if we fully implement Sharia law, then we have to then execute the ex-Muslims who want to leave it, right? What about the gay people? They just happen to be born into this family and you want to implement the laws over them? Like, think through what the things you're saying, because you sound like a complete fucking dumbass right now.
Wow.
So that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's so stupid. Like, oh yeah, oh my god. You do know that we don't want these things because they're
Yeah,
barbaric, right? What logic does it mean to be like, yeah, fuck these people. We're gonna implement it on you harder ourselves because we don't like it. That makes no sense.
it makes no sense. Absolutely. That's insane. That's insane. You know, you are becoming the monster that you're trying to fight. You're becoming them. I mean, by them, I don't mean Muslims. I mean by the people who are actually enforcing those laws. You're becoming worse than the majority of Muslims who don't actually, endorse such laws like this because they don't even, yeah. So, congratulations. You have become the thing that you hate. By the way, somebody's saying the invite link is invalid or has expired. I just if you're talking about the Discord invite link, I just checked it and it works completely fine. Guys, link to our Discord is in the description.